May 28th, a very sad boy's birthday, live streaming directly to you.
Live.sadboyzpod.com.
Bring a gift or something.
It's online. You don't do that. Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
You copied the way I was sitting.
It's just how we're sitting on a couch.
Copying.
Nothing to be copied.
Mr. Xerox, copying.
Mr. Xerox.
I'm Jordan, what's up?
You're back. You're
That's true.
We lost you for a second.
You
had low service as a man.
I needed a little bit of personal time.
Yeah, you take a break from the show.
Yeah, I'm going. Well, it's not an elective break. I was under investigation for being too funny.
By investigation by who? Whom?
Oh, I was really hoping you didn't have any follow-up questions.
Yeah. He folds to no resistance.
I'm lying. How do I make it so he doesn't figure that out?
Okay, I can hear you.
Think.
You're so loud. That's not doesn't really answer the question at all.
Oh, fuck.
Welcome back. We got the birthday blues, and by blues I mean an illness, I guess. A cold? I don't know. Did you have it was just kind of like a cold.
It didn't things didn't really line up, I feel like.
Yeah, it was like a little desynced.
And
like
I just
the
got
ice climbers.
I just got like we went Sopo on it, unfortunately. Yeah. But I go down.
Who's Popo, who's Nana?
Who's getting the best I don't really got filled to the gills with vaccines, so it definitely wasn't a coronavirus. But I was just very sore and shaky.
Yeah,
and sleeping fluey,
Yeah, I totally get that.
You were
I wasn't that. Maybe I had
throaty.
I had mostly throaty. In fact, I hate the linger of when you have a little phlegm in your lungs ? Is that where it lives? And it's kind of just sitting there, and then it takes weeks to get it all out. So you're perfectly healthy, and then you randomly have a really nasty cough, and people are like, "Whoa, were you okay?" And I'm like, "This is actually from weeks ago."
It's it must in the Middle Ages. That's why they talked about ill humors and stuff. Because
yeah,
I don't know, dog.
Ill humor is kind of what I was getting investigated for.
Oh, who by?
Because no,
but no. That works. Why did it work when
you're no further questions?
Fuck, he's a genius.
No, it's like a Jedi mind trick.
What's the skinny, man?
Well, the skinny is that we should exchange birthday gifts because two things. One, it was our birthday. Our shared birthday that we share, and it's not a joke. We really do share a birthday. And then two, we have a upcoming live show, May 28th, 6:30 Pacific, on the online.
But so if I don't live in LA, I can still see it?
You have to go to a computer to see it because it's all live. Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of fun stuff. We're going to have music from Zay Dante, who was guest hosted last episode. Whose album just released. So May 28th, 6:30 Pacific, tickets are available. There's ticket bundles that gave you a t-shirt. If you're in the US, we're not currently shipping those shirts internationally, worth noting, but it's this shirt that you're wearing.
You can tap your belly.
You can do that with most shirts, but talk about the design. It's a nice design. It's a comfortable shirt.
It's a really nice design. You can tap your belly while you wear it.
Yeah, it's not really a feature, but sure. And it's got a skull with wings, and it's not the Avenged Sevenfold logo. It's also not the other metal bands that have used this. It's actually the hundreds of year old iconography of just putting wings on a skull.
Yes.
Did you know that this is a memento mori?
Memento mori, yes.
Which is something
from TV
that used to, this skull with wings used to be put on gravestones and stuff.
Yeah, I'll put it on mine. It's a show that costs money, so no pressure, but it'll be a fun time if you have discretionary entertainment spending.
And there'll be some interactive stuff you can do as well.
True. Sorry, we're super stoked about the show, so I'm having to shill more than I ever did shill before in my life. Come to the show, pay us money.
Go to the show. Yeah,
what were you saying though?
I was going to ask
about your belly. You can rub your belly.
What are you talking about?
I can't do that with mine.
What are you talking about?
There's
you
a force
crazy. You sound insane, dude. I never said anything about that.
All right.
Do you have a specific this is how I'd want to be buried, or this is what I'd not want?
Mostly underground. Thinking, yeah.
Because it really is pretty weird. Maybe not with a toe sticking out or something.
I don't know that I actually want. I think I should probably be cremated. I kind of want to do whatever we think is the best for the environment, because I know it's kind of tough to do with caskets and stuff. They take up a lot of space, and that's tough.
We should do them vertical.
I've thought about this a lot.
Okay.
To his?
About how I should be buried?
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally think it's like the most beautiful thing is how
A Vikings
our world,
burial.
you know,
The circle of life.
the circle of life.
Yeah.
And so
Kind of Matata.
the thing that I would ideally want in a perfect world is to just be buried in the ground, no casket, nothing. Put me in a mushroom suit or something. Like they now have
Hands
those.
sticking out like the Left 4 Dead 2 logo. Yeah.
And then like plant a tree on me.
Yeah, plant a tree on
Or
me.
something like that where
I
it's
can
like,
even be alive. Plant a damn tree on me.
Then kill me.
I would love if my remains fed back into
Yeah, that sounds
nature.
good.
But that being said, that's not allowed most places.
Right, like if you were like buried raw.
Yeah.
I think there's some stuff, and I don't know this fully, but there is some stuff with like methane production and where it's like kind of you have to like properly ventilate. Like I think it's like a harder problem to solve than one would imagine, but I don't know for sure.
I've also heard that cremation actually takes up a lot of energy to like get a full human.
They're calling
down
it the
into
AI
dust.
of death.
So I'm not sure what is the most like possible, not a burden on your
Right, isn't it
loved
crazy that
ones.
it's not like an obvious answer because
Yeah.
we know that there's like limited
Exactly.
there's limited space to like bury bodies. It's like you can't put me in a landfill or whatever. Like literally, what do I have to do to not? Do you have to shoot me out into space?
Yeah.
Well, that takes a lot of energy too.
Can you bury me where they threw all those ET cartridges from the NES?
Right, that's what I'm saying. But to get down there, it takes a lot of energy to dig that hole.
I'll dig
Also,
it as I'm dying. And then
Viking
once
funeral?
I'm done.
Right, and now I'm littering the sea.
Now I'm littering the sea if I'm a Viking.
I don't know how to die.
Also,
Actually,
I guess I'll just
you're-
live forever.
Your like really shitty son is firing an arrow with fire in it onto
my son would be well trained in the preparation of Valhalla.
He'd be a
He's not
Deadeye
as
shot.
he cannot live up to your.
Of course. Actually, I'm agreement, yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have heard of water cremation, but that
Drowning.
is sort of a
Sounds like something
more
Gwyneth Paltrow made up.
It's a candle.
available now at Goop.
That's what you become in a water
You go into the goop kitchen
It
and
is.
turn out a meal.
It is.
There's a new celebrity smoothie and it's made of them.
But it is-
collagen from real Jarvis.
It is a lot more energy efficient.
Oh, okay. This sounds
Well, I'll do
interesting.
that. Honestly, like even in death, I'm like, I just don't want to be an inconvenience.
Yeah.
So- but that's the thing
Whatever's
is-
polite.
It's so messed up how expensive death can be for your loved ones.
Right.
So I'm like, in a perfect world, I want to have all this paid for and set up so that anyone grieving me doesn't have to make a decision.
I was thinking about that recently because knowing my untimely death will come June 26, 2035, I should probably set my like
That's
will.
too soon.
You know, I had a good run. I'm like, I need to like write a will so that like I can get you guys in there because otherwise my shit's going to revert to like people in my family
Dude, I would love to have a
who I don't know.
bickery, dangerous, vindictive, knives out style battle between all of us. And like, you leave us like an ornate mansion and we're fighting each other over who gets it. Then your like beloved but secret son turns up and swipes it away from us. And I get shot by my son with an arrow.
He's a really, really bad shot, but he got lucky. Crit.
The true fight will be over the
Pokemon
card
cards.
collection.
Yeah, true.
Who gets to burn it?
I'll probably have to hire a third party to like liquidate that.
Oh my God, Jarvis is like, bury me with it. We're like, wait,
No,
what?
I want to play games.
Yeah, put it on like the funeral pyre.
Yeah,
Like
bury me with like I
At
don't know.
the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's you lying on all the cards. If I was able to go ghost mode, would you want me to come and visit you, or would it create too great a like psychological burden to know that A, the afterlife exists, and B, ghosts exist?
Oh, like if I'm alive still.
If you are alive,
No, you can visit.
I would love it if you visited.
but
That's
it's
fun.
like really explicitly. I'm like semi-transparent Obi-Wan Kenobi style Jedi ghost.
That's even cooler.
But it's like now you have to reevaluate every single.
The only
belief you
way
have in the
I don't
cosmos.
want a ghost to visit me is if it's the way that ghosts are always depicted in like ghost hunting videos, where it's like they can only cause like small inconveniences.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Like, is that the whole thing when you become a ghost, where it's like I can just kind of fuck things up? I can move things around. I can make loud noises.
Or like in
Stop,
Poltergeist.
yeah, that's annoying. Stop. Okay, maybe don't visit me then.
That's my unfinished business, is messing up the Dewey Decimal System of your DVDs.
yeah.
In Poltergeist, there's
Switching them
a
around.
scene that terrified me when I was a kid, where a mom is in a kitchen. Kid is
that terrified you because you hate gender roles.
and the kid is at the kitchen table, and she turns around to grab something. When she turns back, all of the chairs are on top of the table. It's like, fuck you, ghost.
Yeah,
now
that's
I
kinda
have
messed
to
up.
rearrange these
And that's
chairs.
like not that much work,
Yeah.
but it's enough to be annoying.
It's just like that's
okay.
happening every minute of the day.
So imagining that I'm a ghost, and then like it's really just like I have like whatever the opposite of hand-eye coordination is, and that's why ghosts are always like clumsy and like messing things up. And so it's like me,
you're just like, oh fuck.
me like writing like in blood on a wall, like my bad. I didn't meet. I tried to help. I was trying to set the table.
Where do you get the
Still,
blood?
my ghost eye coordination is not good.
You
Yeah.
have to clean this blood off the wall.
Oh shit.
And find out where it came from.
I should have just gone out to sea.
Can I borrow a pen? Oh, but if I do come back as your ghost, you have to look at me and go, a good ghost.
Sometimes I think about like dying just due to my impending death. And then like, what if you just get like a new game plus? Like sometimes
back.
I do feel like
Reincarnation.
But consciously?
but okay, not necessarily. There's probably a name for this theory, but what I'm calling it is New Game Plus.
Yes.
Where you kind of play through the whole story, but you have like some internalized wisdom from your previous playthrough.
You already have, like, when you find a new skill, it's actually just a leveled up version of a skill you already have.
Right, because I think a lot about my opinions on schooling and learning. And if I would never want to kind of go currently back to like college or something. But if I was going through like high school, middle school, all that stuff again, I would have so much more of a thirst to like learn and to really like apply myself that I didn't necessarily have when I was younger. And maybe that's what teaches me the lessons. It's like, okay, now you can go back and right all your wrongs. Like there's probably a term for that sort of like belief system. I don't really have that belief system. I don't know if I have any belief system. I kind of just think, oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd be neato.
Yeah.
There's
This is the Billy Madison effect.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah, I guess I've misremembered that movie. It's actually about a guy who dies and then comes back but does
Well,
a
he
silly
doesn't
voice.
die. He just has to go through school again.
No,
Yeah.
he dies. It's implied. He dies at the end. He says, thanks for school, and then he walks down a hallway in the mist.
Oh, you're right.
And then little Nicky starts. The thing is about, like, the idea of resubstantiating with some kind of relationship with, like, a previous existence or something like that is that, like, then you have to interface with... It's a little bit like... Oh, spoilers for Expedition 33.
I'm laughing
only
because
because
of
of New Game Plus.
I'm laughing because of like the conversation we're having, and then you just start with like, okay, so hold on, first spoiler alert.
the like, there's a character who has like 2 lives that they have to process, and then I got to watch a friend finish the game the other night, so I got to kind of re-experience the whole.
That's
the
interesting.
moment, and like, there's not a
Which one's the good ending?
who wins. I'm checking Reddit,
Yeah, hang on.
dude.
I need someone who really didn't understand this but has a lot of time on their hands to write an essay about
I would
it.
like as many wrong paragraphs as possible. Is
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
I gotta say, dude, at some point, without being mean to, maybe on the Patreon or just like at our personal time, I gotta show you some of the like takes on Reddit.
I think we've talked about this before.
Popular ones are wrong. They're
Yeah.
so, and not like, oh, I misunderstood the tone or something, but like just like literally not understanding it. Like getting to the like watching all of the Matrix and being like, I think he wasn't in a computer. I think the Matrix was real life.
There's a I saw this recently in like a it was like a RuneScape subreddit thing where It was a real life version of that budgeting meme where it's like you spend like $1 million on something inconsequential and it's like, please help me. My family is starving. And it was, it was just some guy who's like, I really hate doing this, boss, because I always use like 200 prayer potions. How do you guys do it? And people are like, what are you doing? They're like, I use 5.
Stop using them.
Stop doing
Stop
that.
fighting.
You should like it's like finding out you're playing the game wrong, but you make it the game's fault.
Yes, definitely.
Like, I don't like how you need to, they make it like require that you need to hire let me solo her to come kill Melania for you. Sorry, which one's Trump's wife and which one's the Elden Ring boss?
So Melania Trump is the Elden Ring boss that spreads rot across Caelid.
That explains it.
But she has a really annoying long combo attack.
In a second form with all those flowers.
And a great movie.
Soundtrack incredible.
I actually genuinely, I think the one thing that I would benefit from if I did like resubstantiate as Jordan running it back would probably be exactly what you're describing, which is like the willingness to acknowledge that I might be wrong, and not just in like an argument. That's its own thing, because that's more about like confrontation and adrenaline, but more specifically like, I'm not very good at this thing, or I'm not enjoying this thing that other people enjoy. I'm not relishing it the way that they are. My first instinct is going to be to figure out if I'm doing something that's making it that way, as opposed to, I think, how I lived a good portion of my adult life, and definitely my entire pre-adult life, especially as like, I guess teenagers when this really starts happening,
right.
But where it's like, the world is so intimidating and there's so many spinning plates that you want to exclude them as much as possible. Like if something's overwhelming, you're like, I think it's just not good. The only answer here has to be that like, actually that movie's just not good. I didn't just not enjoy it. I didn't just not connect with it. These people don't dislike me. They're just bad people. I'm good.
Yeah, my English teacher's a bad person for giving me this paper to write where I have to read the thing.
This episode of Sad Boys is sponsored by Ridge.
Can we talk about something that should be illegal?
Okay.
You got USB 2, USB 3, USB-C, USB Me, I assume, is a new one that they just made
These days, geez, I mean, it's embarrassing.
We've got little robots on the streets. We've got
presumably with their own cable.
We've got drones in the skies. And yet we have not, when we have to keep 5 tangled cords in my pocket in order to charge my dang stuff. Those days are officially over, I hear.
What?
Thanks to Ridge.
You know Ridge. Come on.
Okay, yeah.
They revolutionized the wallet.
Yeah, they did.
Slim. Modern. RFID blocking.
Built to last, yeah.
The last wallet you'll ever need to buy. They just changed the game again.
What? Oh no, are you saying that Ridge's 5-in-1 travel power bank has built-in cables so you can charge all your devices at the same time? One power bank, no extra cables?
Yep.
Oh. MagSafe wireless charging, Apple Watch charging, Lightning, not the electric phenomenon, the cable, USB-C, every single way you need to charge all-in-one premium device, and we know how much I love premium stuff.
Look at it.
It's available in matte black, Basecamp orange, matte olive.
And it does not scream the classic, I bought this at the airport.
Yeah, it screams, I bought this at the coolest store in the world.
Not the opposite of the airport.
This thing pumps out 20 watts of power, as fast as your phone could possibly charge, 10,000 milliamps. That's charging your phone 3 times in one little device. Boom, it's MagSafe, so snap it onto that iPhone of yours, okay? Built-in LED indicator for your power level, built-in kickstand so you can, watch a video at the airport while you charge.
Looking at that freaking chump who did buy a crappy little power bank at the airport.
Loser!
In the corner.
I shopped at the best store in the world. And like everything Ridge makes, it's built to last, free shipping, 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty.
One thing to pack.
5 ways to power. You can find Ridge's power bank at Best Buy, or our listeners get 10% off using code SADBOYS at checkout on ridge.com.
RIDGE.com. Code SADBOYS.
And after you purchase, they might ask you where you heard about them. And you can tell them us. Sad Boys Podcast is where I heard about the Ridge power bank with 10,000 milliamp hours, 5-in-1 charging everything together.
That's the show.
That's the show. Thanks to Ridge, by the way. I'm feeling good. Have you seen, okay, so there's this perspective now amongst like young people in school who are kind of like, how did they ever write 10 pages, a 10-page paper without AI? And then people from our generation are like, we wrote 10-page papers without reading the book.
Plagiarism, a different kind.
Like for me, it wasn't even plagiarism. It was just genuine bullshitting.
Yeah, actually,
like not even knowing what the fuck I was talking
I think
about.
I was rocking plagiarism a little older, and obviously I never did, but I did it. And I think I was just like, I was the trope, the cliche of like, oh, it flushed down the toilet. Oh no, my paper fell down the toilet.
Oh no, my dog learned to delete my hard drive.
Why did I teach them that?
It was unfortunately the only trick he learned. And the
My
reason
dog didn't let me write it.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is because there's been a proliferation, a cavalcade, a tranche even of people speaking at graduations talking about AI, and then the students are rightfully critical of being told to like embrace AI. And I'm surprised that it keeps happening. Not that the students are reacting that way, that people keep telling them to just love AI.
Why is this in graduation speeches?
Let's watch one of these.
This is Gloria Caulfield speaking at UCF.
Holden Caulfield's mom.
She looks great.
A little literary reference for a book I didn't read.
Fuck, you love books. Eh?
I read that book and I loved it.
I listened to a song called Who Wrote Holden Caulfield by Green Day.
There are many books I did not read and wrote papers
There's like
on.
hundreds of books I haven't read.
And she's giving a commencement speech at the University of Central Florida. And this
UCF!
Yeah.
This
Golden Knights. Golden Knights?
That team is the Golden Knights?
So I wanted to look up this woman real quick to see.
Can I see their logo, please?
I just want to see what she does. Like, why is she giving this speech?
That's so... Look at the mascot!
The mascot's pretty sick.
Can we...
I didn't apply to UCF, but I heard they did have a good competition programming team, and so they were like pretty good for schools in Florida for
They have
computer
that
science. They have the Golden
defending
Knight.
the school?
They have the Golden Knight.
Well, I just want to see what this woman does professionally.
Right.
She's like
She's
a
a vice
developer.
president of strategic alliances for Tavistock Development Company.
What is that?
She oversees the health and medical partnerships as well as business development for Tavistock's visionary Lake Nona community.
Tavistock sounds like Travis Scott. Like New Game Plus. Yeah, he got reborn.
She's in real estate.
So essentially, she's a developer for
Developers.
for like townhomes in this one area called Lake Nona.
Is that in Florida?
Yes.
It's like UCF isn't near me, so I like don't know that much about that part of Florida.
Nona is grandma in Italian. So
Wait,
I'm
where
guessing
is
it's Lake Grandma.
UCF?
It's in Orlando.
Oh, it's in Orlando.
Big
Okay.
ass state, right?
Actually, that's surprising. I didn't know it was in Orlando. That's pretty funny.
Isn't Orlando like... Oh, sorry. Florida's like ridiculously big proportional.
It's very big. Yeah. It's also just very. It's got a lot of biomes. Like.
Well, it's like
an open
really
world.
long. So nothing like connects to each other. really.
Like Miami is a different state in my mind.
Hang on a minute. She's not graduating. Why does she get the hat?
You always get the hat.
It's a whole thing, and
the
I
hell?
don't fully understand where it all comes from, but it feels like it comes from secret societies, and I'm not even joking.
It's very Masony.
Yeah.
Honestly, I bet it comes from your freaking stupid ass
Probably
countries.
your bullshit
Because
ass wizard. Look, she looks like she's fucking doing wizardry.
Colleges used
Hogwarts
to
ass
be
costume.
colleges used to be for clergymen.
The grand pageantry and traditional dress of graduation ceremonies come from two distinct European traditions: medieval church apparel and British royal ceremonies.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're a gowny nation. It's a lot of gowns, I'll admit
It
that.
is a thing that's so ridiculous to me that you like have to buy your cap and gown.
Yeah.
And that shit's expensive.
That's
and also
American
there's
shit.
like a sliding scale of nice ones that you can get. So it's like, do you want to look fucking chopped at your graduation?
It's made of cardboard.
Yeah, no, kind of. And then it's like, okay, I'm like a graduating student. I don't have a lot of money like that. Yeah. And so obviously I'm gonna cheap out on my cap and gown. But then sometimes people get their caps and gowns like passed down from their family, but then there's like sometimes rules about the specific colors and like because you have to like blend in with everybody. So even if it's like an off by a specific tone, depending on what the rules are, you might not be able to use a special one. It's a whole thing.
But then also Britain does lawyers wearing these while they like do law as solicitors.
That is fun that they have to wear a robe and like a wig or something.
Yeah, like
stupid.
what the hell is a barrister? And do we have them in American law?
We don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
No. We're missing out on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Gloria Estefan.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution.
Wait a second. Like, why did she... What happened? Wait, pause. Wait, what happened? Oh no.
Finding out you're out of touch.
Finding out you're out of touch like that is crazy.
In real time. Oh man. Wearing a smart person hat as well. A hat that means you're smart.
Oh no.
Dude.
Oh yeah, do you know about the tassels? Do you know what you do?
You just move it for
you move it.
When do you change it?
When they say you can now kiss the bride. Basically like they say like they say like you're I now pronounce you like graduated, and then like you do it, and then everybody like throws up their caps or whatever.
Was there more to that, or did they just boo her ass off the stage?
Did it feel the same way for you where like I've never said anything like that and gotten that response, but sometimes you have a joke that you really think is going to crush. You're like holding court and it just doesn't land at all.
Oh my God. And you have to pretend that it was never even played for humor.
You're like, oh.
And I mean,
it was a joke.
It was a laugh.
I did the Riyadh Comedy Festival as a joke.
I was gonna say not afterwards.
Guys, psych.
What is it? Opposite day? Because you guys aren't laughing.
Fuck, he's right. Yeah, show me a little more. Can I just see it again?
I want to see more for sure. This is 2 minutes.
I want to just see the moment again.
Oh God, you have something wrong with you.
The next industrial revolution. Okay, I struck a chord.
She's not okay. I understand what she's trying to say. You have to know that despite the fact that there's like some nuance to be had in AI discourse, the last thing a graduating class facing a horrific job market and like a bad economy wants to hear is that they have to kind of get with the times or be left behind.
Yeah, you know all the money you just spent for the degree you're just now getting?
Ooh.
Could be redundant.
Also, this is a generation that like started their degrees and like has probably seen the starting salary shrink.
Yeah.
From like what their prospective like degrees
since they started their study and burned all of this cash in those 4-ish years, I know it can go there. In those 4 years, they have seen the re-election of a president that in their environment would be overwhelmingly unpopular. They've seen sharp decline in the amenities that they have and the affordability, is sharp incline in the prices of everything in their life. The beginning of a war, and the beginning of like a rampant, annoying, constantly being told that this thing is important.
Just a complete like absence of optimism for any reason.
Being told this thing's important, but also being told that like they're abusing it. Because a lot of kids are using it to write their papers and stuff, right?
Which I could be on. I know maybe not like the most reasonable take or whatever. I personally am kind of the position of like the school's got to adapt. Unfortunately, not in a like
think
right
a lot
or
of
wrong.
schools have.
They have.
It's
where
just
it's like we just hand in stuff in writing.
That now is. Or even then, because that's just like a slow and tedious process of like copy. It's still going to be faster than writing the whatever.
Well, no, but like they're having to do a lot more like kind of live, live, like talking about the thing that you wrote. So like imagine if you had to like sit, and it's like more work on the teachers, which sucks to be honest, but like imagine if you had to give a private report about the thing that you wrote, but then you aren't intimately aware of the thing that you wrote because AI wrote it. Like even if you read it, I don't think you could like intimately talk about the thought process. So it's like it kind of reveals stuff.
It would require a lot of bullshit swag that I don't think is that common.
What's really funny is I'm seeing people be flabbergasted that teachers are embedding like hidden AI agent instructions into their homework, and they're like mad about it, and I'm like, you don't get both, bro. You honestly, like, I can't sympathize with this one.
You're battling. You got you got outplayed on that one.
Because here's the thing, you could copy this and delete all those things. Just do that. Like, that's like not even that much work.
I have a couple friends who are college professors, and they're doing way more like presentation, like oral presentations, or having to
kind of old school. Like,
yeah,
like
it is kind of old school.
Yeah,
and I think it's great, actually.
It's, in my opinion, should the budget and lack of amenities for teachers and lack of availability for them to do it is like the biggest bottleneck for that.
Yeah.
But it is like a very effective way of doing it, because otherwise, right now, at least in my educational experience, like every single course is a course in essay writing, which is not of interest to me. I'm not doing.
That's not how the world really works.
Yeah, it's not. It's an interesting skill that works great when you're in college or academia.
Yeah,
but like I would kind of much rather have just learned the topic of the thing, but not. God, if I could just generate it with AI. You know, truth is, I don't think I would, because I would be maybe a little too anxious about it. But I was doing. Like, I wasn't reading a lot of the books I get assigned on like film theory and stuff, but I was looking up like Cliff Notes, and I was going on Google Books and all the free pages I would copy.
I was doing that a lot, yeah.
The diligence of like, in my opinion, it's a little bit, I don't know if elitist is the right word, but it's like a little unreasonable, especially in the US where you have to buy your own books, which is often the case in the UK, but like, at least in my course, I was never obliged to have a book. Like, I should have gotten one and read it over the summer, but like bringing in the book and being like, look, I proved that I have it. Yeah. Not so much a thing. But I do think it's a little wonky to be like, hey, can you read these hundreds of pages for what will ultimately not really be something you prove actively in your college course that's already costing you cash and a new lifestyle with several?
I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's tricky because it's like your own doing. If you like choose to not get an education at the place that you're paying to get an education, that's like your prerogative. Yeah. The other thing is, if it's a professor and like not a lecturer, like at like a research university, a lot of times they don't even give a shit about the teaching aspect. Yeah. And like, so
it's not their field. It's,
it's like it's a tricky thing. I think it's good that the educators care about being able to impart education upon their students, because they could just not, and then everything could just be rubber stamped.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
It'd be easier for them as well. Yeah. Not to mention grading with it. Like, obviously there's like a frictionless solution to it. I know that we're in a bubble or whatever, but like sometimes when people say stuff like this, I'm just like, do you live in space? Like, didn't you hear that?
All right, I'm curious where she even goes. Okay, she struck a chord and a nerve.
She struck a chord nerve.
Just
only a few years ago, AI was not a factor in our lives.
That's not true, but I know what she's trying to say.
What is going on?
That's very funny.
Okay.
People only react to tens and zeros at this college.
Okay. We've got a bipolar topic here, I see. Okay. And now, AI capabilities are in the palm of our hands.
Sorry. It's like, what are you, Steve Jobs? Like, well, why are you doing this?
Got him back, threw him down, lost him again.
Yeah, see, I see. So what she's trying to say is, like, in my graduation era, we were faced with the launch of the internet, and there are like parallels to be drawn here in terms of a vast like revolution in like a lot of industry, and also a speculative bubble. And also kind of just like people being told that this is the future, get with the program or whatever.
God, that top comment, man, that's everyone has such high adrenaline all the time. It's freaking me out.
She's a terrible communicator when she's off script. I mean, to be fair, a lot of these people are not brought in to be communicators. Now I feel like I'm like defending her, but not that.
Well, she's just a normal lady.
She's just like a normal lady with like some corporate success.
Yes, she's out of touch in a little bit, but there's just something about like, sometimes I feel like I'm being a little unfair with my skepticism or cynicism about stuff like this. And then the top comment is always just like pointing out the same stuff we did, but conclusion, she should be executed.
So Okay, this is an interesting comment that I am so far agreeing with. She's a VP of a company. People at that level have drunk the AI Kool-Aid. They've been told over and over again that AI is going to allow them to cut costs, getting rid of employees, allowing them to have record profits. They cannot comprehend why the average non-executive person doesn't share their joy in putting millions of people out of work. More or less, I agree with like the top line of this, which is that like people at the executive level have very much drank the AI Kool-Aid. And
have limited experience of like anyone not at the executive level since they joined it.
This is like a criticism I have of pretty much every, YouTube included, like every tech company right now, is like, how are we going to leverage AI? Because it's like a huge like market opportunity for them. But then at no point are you considering the like any of the other costs, but not considering any of the worldly impacts nor the consumer sentiment on something like this.
What was the line where she got him back again briefly?
Oh, well, she got them back because I almost don't even feel like she got them back. It was because she said AI didn't exist and everybody was like, let's go.
That's so funny.
She said, even 2 years ago, these tools didn't exist. And they were like, yeah, let's go back to that.
She's doing the Key and Peele. You should take your chef's hat and get out of here. Oh,
yeah.
Because you deserve to be working at the best restaurant in the world.
So there was another instance recently where this guy, Scott Borchetta, was speaking at Middle Tennessee
Delicious
State
name.
University.
Delicious, man.
He's the CEO of a company called Big Machine.
Wait, what was the name of the record label that Taylor Swift signed to?
He's the CEO of Big Machine Records.
Boom.
Oh,
I did it. I saw through the Matrix.
And he had his own little moment with the Tennessee graduates.
I wonder if he has an accent.
This industry will change on you in a heartbeat.
How
Was not
disappointing.
expecting that voice.
How incredibly disappointing.
He's a little bit of an accent.
American.
It changed more in the last 10 years than in the 50 years prior. Streaming rewrote the economics.
I'm realizing now this is just a landmine for commencement speeches because of how commencement speeches have to be written. Because every commencement speech is always like this. It's like you are entering the workplace. And then now opportunity is bigger than it ever has because you're hyping them up for like...
I would say, though, that those are the bad commencement speeches.
But I just mean they're more like the out of the box, like
the
the
normal.
template. The template.
Yeah, because it's like you're because of the fact that college now is so focused on the workforce, right? Where they used to be these like idealistic like places of intellectualism, and now it's just like we're preparing you for the workforce. And so you're right. Like it's like here's the workforce you're going into.
Right. Here's what but it's hard to be, it's like you're trying to be hopeful and optimistic, but this is a time where most older people operated in a time of more opportunity and more optimism than these graduates are entering. So it's a little bit like I roll my eyes and I'm like, what do you know about what it's like today? Because you're already at the mountaintop and I actually won't be able to get, it's going to be very difficult for me to get ahead.
Grandparents talking about getting a starter home and like, I've been married for 70 years. Like, you married your first middle school sweetheart. You live a life. You don't know
Also,
anything.
this guy's not doing himself any favors with those glasses at the end of his nose. You know what I mean? I don't know if
the aesthetic of that is.
He does, and look, it looks like he dyes his hair. It's like too black.
And you know what? I'm sick of things being too black.
That's what I'm saying. Get Professor Snape off my screen.
Oh my
All right, no,
God.
just
How
kidding.
about white entertainment television?
Wet.
that's
Maybe
like
not
most television.
Model. AI is rewriting production as we sit here. I know it. Deal with it. Like I said, it's a tool.
No.
Hey, like I said, you can hear me now or you can pay me later.
What's this?
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh boy.
It's like it's funny to be comedian gets heckled like at a college commencement speech.
Oh yeah, one of those like pre-canned like homophobic jokes they'll make to zing back against someone they obviously paid to heckle them.
It's tough because also when you're young, like the odds that you like, obviously it's impolite to boo, but I'm not surprised that a bunch of college kids are booing. And then his response being that of a supervillain is not like awesome. You know,
the
hear me now or
patronizing.
pay me later.
I don't know, man. Is that what
I think that's an
CEOs
old person phrase because it essentially means if you don't heed my warning now, like
It's like, are you a doomsayer? Kind of, a little bit.
yeah.
He's a dude maker.
But
So
I
wait, is he
do-
a music? But I don't understand what his like actual. He owns the music label.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he is
doesn't own it.
saying
He's the CEO.
CEO.
the fact that he's in music and he's saying like AI is this great
And he's
tool.
giving this commencement speech to a room full of people who I presume are studying music.
Well, because Tennessee also is a big music place.
Yeah.
I guess,
Big
is this
machine?
University of Tennessee or is this...
This is
This says Tennessee
Middle
State.
Tennessee State.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I guess they got a CEO of a music label, so maybe they think.
But
there's
he
some
might, maybe he's like
utility.
alumnus or something. Maybe he has some connection to it.
Hey, then do something about it, okay? It's a tool.
Okay.
Make it work for you.
It's actually not.
I hate when they say it's a tool because it's so like
Okay.
Reduction.
reductive. And,
Yeah.
And you could say that about everything.
Yeah. I wasn't booing because it wasn't a tool.
Yeah.
That was.
It's not a tool. Whoever said
Oh,
it's not
yeah?
a tool is wrong.
Which is a very executive mindset where it's like, why are you booing me? It's usable. It's, I'll sacrifice you. I don't care. But I should.
Well, it's like also you should never, again, it's like, okay, impoliteness aside, it's like acting as if you should never criticize things that are tools.
Yes. And look.
There are lots of bad tools out
Things,
there.
it has a use. It's like me talking about the atomic bomb.
It's their birthday party. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you can.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's actually a really good point.
They can boo you. You were the comedian hired for their
It's
party.
their day.
Yeah, it's there. And so him getting so defensive is like so icky to me because. Well, because it's like you've already failed because you misread the room, and now you're getting defensive about your misreading, and it's not going to help the audience, your audience.
You're now pitting yourself against them.
Yeah, literally.
Imagine if
Stop
the-
bullying me. I'm right.
What about when we got that Austin Powers impersonator for that birthday party? Imagine when there was slightly cringe at like some of his slightly inappropriate jokes. He just went like, "What?
You hired me.
It's from the movie.
This is what you get.
It's a tool."
When
I
said,
am horny, baby.
and when I said sit on my Facebook, it was a sex joke. All right.
That
Have
was
you guys watched that show Hacks on HBO?
A little bit, yeah.
So
With the coots.
the last season is currently airing, and it's really great. I love that show, and I'm loving this last season. But
You can marry it.
well, I would if I could actually. But it's already married.
It's a show.
There is an episode that clearly was written by writers who are upset that Hollywood wants to force AI into their industry. Essentially, there's a storyline where at the end, the older comedian, she's like, I don't care. Like, if you're going to pay me money, you can train your AI on my material. And then he starts saying like, you could use it to write your own comedy. And she was like, well, I like writing. I like making comedy. That's why. And he's like, well, in the future, this is what's going to happen. And so then they get into an argument where she's like, you don't understand why creative people are creative. They want to write. They want to make stuff. And you are essentially trying to help the non-creatives and the people with no talent pretend like they have it.
Most of the people saying this stuff don't understand the capabilities of it, and they just assume it to be this like all-knowing like thing where it's like not very good at creating novel things because it's trained on things that already exist. So it's good at doing like paint by numbers, like
Right.
very like template things, like a glorified like when you type in your text app and you just hit the center button over and over and over again.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like a glorified version of that.
Yeah.
But going through that, Boomer going through that and going like, oh my God, my phone's alive. It's saying all this stuff. It's speaking for me. How?
Where does he go from here? Can he bring it back?
Definitely. If he does, oh my God. I'm
you
investing in
I
Big
almost
Machine.
thought he had something with then do something about it. Where it's like,
Well, but the tone in which he said that,
yeah,
it kind of doesn't have the right.
he didn't follow it up with,
If you guys hate
you
it
are
so
the
much,
future.
Do something about it.
Doing
Yeah,
something
yeah.
about it includes booing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's being agitative, is actively criticized. Like, well, then fine. How about you criticize people when they talk about it then?
It's like telling people who are protesting, well, why don't you just join the government? Why don't
Yeah.
you run for office? It's like, okay, no, but like the people voicing their opinion means something.
Something about it, okay? It's a tool. Make it work for you. The things you learned in your first year here may already be obsolete. Here's a warning. Invest in the skill and art of creation and not the platform or the system.
Huh?
Platforms and systems come and go. What is still the most valuable commodity is great content, great storytelling. AI is not going to change that.
Okay.
No matter the platform, content is king. Give it great ideas. As you step into your next season, know that the people who thrive are the people who invested in and trusted their own judgment and vision.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I think
it felt contradictory to the first half, though.
I think I don't think he's like making the tie that other people do between the utility of the tool and it invalidating the art and the creativity. I think what he's saying is essentially like, why would you be skeptical about using a computer to make music? It's just about making the music, as though like it is a replacement for a method that endorses the creativity. It is the like generating an illustration, for example, is removing the thing that would be valuable. There's a really great, like, I think about it all the time for some reason, like, but there's a clip from a really old Red Letter Media video. It's like that Phantom Menace review, and then they say, it's in the Mr. Plinkett series, and then Mr. Plinkett, the character, always uses this in every video for the last almost 20 years. He goes, you might not notice it, but your brain did. And that's like art and engagement, where like, you might not have the like, you might not be acknowledging the form of why this cinematography is bad, but your heart knows. Because otherwise, why the fuck would anyone do anything?
Right.
Why wouldn't every movie be a Wikipedia summary? You know on some level when something is good or disengaging or valuable. Right. And it's like, no, we can indefinitely just put out, and the term slop is, so many things now, but noise, I guess, more accurately, and be like, he's comparing AI in the abstract to using Logic Pro.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I think that people talk about AI who just don't fully grasp like what's happening. Yeah. And also usually tend to ignore the way in which these models are trained, which tends to be on illegally, like ill-gotten like materials. The
foundations are already a little rotten. Like,
yeah, so it's like it is a little bit like, sure, the pirates have installed their own government, but they're here and they have guns, so we should
they're already here.
So we should work with them.
We should work with them.
It's the British government being like, I'm going to keep the diamond.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry.
That was a weird
that stuff,
analogy, but my point is that they tend to just not fully understand the whole. They only understand like a part of the thing, which is like, oh, AI helps make stuff.
They also, I mean, to be fair,
there's not really a previous analog for like the way that AI like operates.
I think maybe they,
and I mean Gen AI
in the same way. Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. The Gen AI is now the presumed thing that they're referencing. I don't think they know that. They're saying it in reference to, like Logic very recently, Logic Pro 12 recently added a feature where you can pull in like a pre-existing loop or a bounced track, and it will pretty accurately most of the time tell you what the chords are in it. And that's just like a good reference point, because you can do that, but it just saves you like 15 minutes. It's like a quick thing.
I mean, and look, those things. Yeah,
but
exactly.
He might, on some naive level, think that's the words he's saying. It's almost like a mistranslation where he's going like, and then like, the computer's good for this, not knowing that using the term AI means to everyone he's talking to right now, Gen AI. That is what it means to them. And he's being kind of a pedant, being like, messing with them.
Well, it's just like language is the way that it's used. And so that is shifting even the term AI. Like, it's annoying that we've had AI in tons of forms for decades at this point. And it's even something that like I studied in school, but now Gen AI has kind of usurped the colloquial meaning of AI, and so now we need different terms to discuss some of these things, like
and the like
head tracking. Computer vision is like a corner of AI, and computer vision is the same thing that is how you do like head tracking in your whatever. I don't know what I'm saying.
Like accessibility tools.
Accessibility tools. Yeah. It's like, it's not all AI is the same. It's like, or else you'd like be playing a video game and you'd be upset that the enemies like act on their own.
Why do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Why do these guards
only
keep following
procedural
me?
enemies?
But I do think there's like, it is kind of a old person yells at cloud, but in verse where it's like, what the fuck? Why are the clouds yelling at me? I'm right.
I'm curious what Eric Schmidt has to say here, because he was previously a CEO of Google. He's a billionaire.
Dude, congrats.
He's not considered to have been a good CEO of Google, but I think he was CEO during the YouTube acquisition.
Which college is this?
I think it was like the early 2000s until like 2010 when he was the CEO of Google.
Arizona, it says it right there. I'm stupid.
Last December, Time magazine selected its Person of the Year for 2025. And this time, it was the architects of artificial intelligence. Interesting.
Oh, God.
So today, we stand on this edge of another technological transformation.
So far, he hasn't gotten to his point yet. So the booing is like, it's like, I'm literally just saying a fact right now. Like,
and they're just booing the fact. I mean,
and not to defend him, but like he's like going somewhere with this. I don't know where.
Let's see.
Look, kudos to him for then not going like, stop it.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
honestly, he's had the best response so far.
And also, I know that he's done a lot of. I've seen multiple commencement speeches from him before.
One that will be larger, faster, and more consequential than what came before. It will touch every profession, every classroom, every hospital,
so far he hasn't said it, and that's good.
Every person and every relationship you have.
Unfortunately, true.
I know what many of you are feeling about that. I can hear you.
Okay.
There is a fear. There is a fear
General yelling.
in your generation that the future has already been written, that the machines are coming, that the jobs are evaporating, that the climate is breaking.
So far, he's the only one who's even in the stratosphere of like what the tone is.
Well, or even acknowledging that fear is real.
And I still don't know. He's still like going up the roller coaster.
He's building at what might be the biggest butt of all time.
It might be the biggest butt of all time. Like, I'm like, okay, where are you going with this, Schmitty?
This is him spinning his arm like Donkey Kong to charge up the punch. He might just look,
yeah,
but
it's awesome.
And that you are inheriting a mess that you did not create. And I understand that fear. It's rational.
Okay.
And it's amplified every day by social media platforms with algorithms that have learned with great precision that fear earns clicks.
Okay, so far he is. I mean, because he obviously should know this stuff.
Yeah. But he
So
doesn't
far,
have to
all
be.
of this feels validating almost.
Yeah, and
But-
people are like, boo.
The sound for the last
boo.
the last like 45 seconds has just been like
Okay, it is a little bit like, you don't understand. Well, you kind of maybe do, at least to an extent.
You launched your alt after the team wipe happened, and now you're just firing the laser.
Oh my
around
God,
like,
the worst. They move out of the way right after you Kamehameha.
Look at how precious he looks.
He's like, wee, we're going to Disney World.
I love you.
Anxiety drives engagement. But I want to say something to you this evening as clearly as I can. To speak of the future as though it has already been decided is to surrender the one thing that actually matters. You are surrendering your agency. The future does not simply arrive. It gets built in laboratories, in dormitories, in startups, in classrooms, in legislators. And the people building it will be you and people like you.
Okay, that was fine.
I'm into that.
That was fine. I mean, like, it's like, what can you do in a commencement speech? That is kind of what
we got Condon. Oh no.
Yeah, sorry. Let's see. Sounded more like a threat than a speech. Well, I mean,
everyone regretted.
I felt like it was kind of validating of what's real.
When I see these things, it's like you pre-cooked this.
Yeah, this is
like you didn't. This isn't responding. He clearly generated a speech in Gemini. Well, no, yes, he's a billionaire. Yes, he's out of touch, but
I feel like this was way better than the previous ones we did. Yeah,
I mean, it's like, look, I don't know what. Like, look, you won't see me accepting a commencement speech anytime soon, but I don't like if you are going to address AI, which I feel like if you don't in this climate, then you're missing.
It's pretty disingenuous.
It's yeah, because I'm like, what are you supposed to say?
The one cavity there is definitely the like, and this is just like a level of nuance that I don't know how you'd even get into without becoming again kind of pessimistic. But like, there is a little bit of a gap between like maintaining your agency socially and emotionally and actually having the agency to do anything about it, like saying like,
right,
it's with the solicitors, it's with the startups, it's like, okay, but like we're not getting those jobs, so like let's think a little more about like it's a little like it's got a tiny bit of pull up your pants.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, it is interesting to feel like they weren't actually like responding to like what was said. And I said before this that Eric Schmidt is not considered to be like a good CEO of Google.
It also just feels good as fuck to boo someone.
Yeah.
It just feels good as fuck to be in a crowd, like aligned, doing a whole thing. And like, I feel like once the boo started, everybody's kind of yes-anding each other. It's like, well, I'm not going to fucking cheer. Because no one else is going to cheer. I'm not shifting from this.
I think there's probably a good amount of the audience of Sad Boys who are probably graduating right now. It's graduation season. Dads and grads, as Scott Ackerman used to say.
Why dads?
Because of June, his Father's Day.
Oh,
Papa Day.
Sorry, can you tell I've never known my father?
I didn't go to grad.
Can I give like a mini commencement speech?
Tread carefully.
All
I
I'm
will
gonna
boo
say
if I
is
disagree with anything that's said.
My advice, or it's not even advice, but my thoughts about anyone graduating right now, it can feel very upsetting and scary. And I think this is true of anyone graduating at any time, but just it's especially scary right now because our economy is really bad and jobs are probably hard to find. And
definitely.
I guess what I would say to that is when you feel like you have no options, that is actually the best time to just gravitate towards anything that interests you. So if you're like, well, I went to school for English. This is actually my experience. I went to school. I got an English degree. Hey,
nerd.
And now I've graduated and I don't even know what job I could do other than teaching. What should I do? It's like, now's the time to kind of be bold. Do whatever feels in your gut interesting, that feeds you, that drives you, that like take the bold choice now rather than the safe choice, because no choice is actually going to feel that safe. No choice
is safe, really. Because like if you look at like the like learn to code people from like 2010, 100%. It's like it's not it's like one of the most affected jobs by AI.
Yeah.
It seemed like great advice at the time because people were like changing careers to get this job, and then now the like career outlook for those jobs is like they're shrinking. It's like they're doing layoffs. There's just not as much of it, and so that target is always moving, and we can't really predict the future.
I think there's something to like I think it's so incredibly difficult, and this happens a lot when people are processing grief and when people are just going through a particular mental health crisis or physical health crisis or something where you can't directly relate to it because it is not happening to you in that time, in that body, and it's not your brain, where you don't really have anything you can say other than platitudes, because platitudes it's the thing that's left. It's, it's the parachute for when you want to help someone, and that's the best you can do. It doesn't mean nothing, like sorry for your loss. That's a nice thing. And as long as someone's receptive to it, it is useful. But this is one of those situations where every little bit of gray matter rolling around my rotten brain is trying and telling me to give some kind of positive encouragement as to like what you can do instead or what's available to you or what might happen. And the truth is, I actually won't say anything like that because it is completely realistic and understandable, or I guess not realistic, nothing's realistic, but understandable to be like, there's fucking nothing for me right now. There are no options. Nothing's available for me. I don't even have like the time or health to do the things I care about. But I think there is a slight difference. The advice, or at least hope I would have, is that people can mostly acknowledge the difference between becoming a doomer, which is founded on an idea that life itself is necessarily bad and that people at their core are necessarily bad, and being a realist where you can acknowledge what is bad and be aware of it and not feel disincentivized from doing that when people say like, hey, things will turn around, things got a little better, just eat 3 meals a day, sleep, like that kind of stuff is like correct. But ultimately there's so many circumstances that can be blocking you financially or otherwise. And I think literally the only choice that you always have is whether or not you ascribe it to, in a hateful way, I guess. Right. It's a loser ideology. The only real loser ideology is living in a world where you assume the worst of everyone, as opposed to just like pointing specifically to the bad behavior of a select few. Yeah. Saying like, well, there's people that really don't want me to do well, or rather people that just don't care in positions of power, versus, man, everyone fucking sucks. No one cares about anyone. Nothing's nice. People did this to me. And
because that mentality literally is paralyzing.
It makes you feel
completely
saps you
of all
why be
agency.
Alive?
It's like
and
internal
that's
and external locus of control. Like I think that doing anything that gives you agency and makes you feel like alive and that life is worth living is something worth pursuing. And also just like leveraging whatever privileges you have. Because I think there's a lot of people who feel this way that do have some sort of privilege that they can leverage. Like I was lucky enough to be, first of all, have scholarship to go to school, and then was able to get a job like right out of college, and it was a well-paying job and stuff. But that was my only like backup plan. I didn't have like a family home to go back to. I didn't have like a family or a home to go back to. I had family members, but just my home life situation, it was like kind of like, I need to figure this out. And I don't wish that upon anyone, even though it's a real situation a lot of people are in. But if you're not in that situation, like live at home if you have to. Yeah. Like basically like there's no valor. There's no there's nothing cool about doing everything by yourself. Like take as much help as much as people are willing to give you, because it's a privilege that I would have taken if I had access to it.
Yeah, it's definitely understandable when people are so resistant to that, because it's like believing in American meritocracy, but from the other direction, where it's like, no, I need to be starving to be an artist, as opposed to, no, there's just a lot of artists that are starving because it's not financially viable.
And I get like, it's like when I talk to people who are like, oh, I'm like living at home right now and I don't love that. I'm like, look, like I get that it sucks and it can feel like stagnant or whatever, but like take advantage and maybe just kind of try to flip your perception of it on its head. Cause it's almost like it's like, imagine instead if somebody was paying you rent to figure your life out.
Yeah. And also, like you're saying, privilege can sometimes come in ways that you aren't really paying attention to. Like when I first graduated college, I didn't have a job. I didn't have like any prospects. I couldn't live with my family, but I had so many friends that I could be roommates with who were helping me get jobs at their jobs. Like having a big friend group was my privilege right out of
college. It's like your superpower or whatever. Yeah. But it's like, and not everybody's going to have the same like loadout of like stats and amenities and things. And so you kind of have to figure out like what is like your special circumstance. And you probably have one. And it just depends on like kind of thinking laterally maybe to try and squeeze that for as much as you can, because it's a game of like how much advantage can I get to like to sort of find a foothold.
Yeah, kind of flip your perspective on what some like successful life looks like right now.
Yeah, you're wasting your own time if you ascribe to any kind of narrative you plotted out.
Yeah.
When you were under at least the age of 25, like agonizing over what you said you would accomplish is like, you might as well be like, I said I was going to be an astronaut when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it just doesn't.
So much of life too is like, you're an 18-year-old who's supposed to know what you're going to want to do with your life when you're 22 and graduating. It's like, okay, well, no. And
our jobs didn't exist when I graduated college.
Right.
Like I could not have planned for this job because it didn't exist. It was like 2004.
You had like tanners and tailors and blacksmiths, I think was the primary.
I pretty much was a blacksmith's apprentice.
You were a gatherer from what
But I feel like what brought me to this job was kind of like, I put so much pressure on myself where I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, and I don't feel successful. And I was watching all my friends have these more linear paths to their goals, and I didn't realize I was actually preparing my whole adult life for this.
Sure.
Because I was doing a bunch of different things. I just gravitated towards whatever felt right for me at that time. And it landed me here. Could not have ever planned it or expected it.
And it's also like everyone's kind of journey is different. Everyone's situation is different. And none of this advice may feel useful or applicable to you. And like RB. But I think the main thing is just try to not become a doomer, because it does sap you of all of your like agency and like willingness to like do anything.
It's a toxicity that floats around you as well. And other people might not notice it, but their brain did, right?
Yeah.
Like it's...
But yeah, it's going back to the realist thing. It's like, yeah, but you can also acknowledge that like shit is shitty.
Yeah. Shit is shitty and not go either direction of. And so that is the way things naturally are. And so I will naturally be resentful of anybody that doesn't feel that way or is feeling better about something or whatever it is. And I'm not going to go the other direction of doing a commencement speech where I say, everything's really tough right now, so just be a little better, like work a little harder at it. It's like very frustrating.
Just harness the AI.
Just lock in.
Make it work for you. I mean, to Anastasia's point earlier, there's also like, if you can like try to meet like people that give you energy and make you feel optimistic about the world, because it's also easy to be in a situation where everyone's like doom and gloom, and then it can make you feel like that's the only like that's the only way to think.
So or curious. Even if you all are feeling doom and gloom, but then you make something together and that brings you a little joy, like that kind of stuff is so energizing.
Yeah, it's like you take it for granted that you can just like walk away from a conversation and be like, oh, I don't feel as dark about the world, because at least there's someone who I can share this like feeling with, and then that load is not fully on me.
Yeah, the right above nutrition is the hierarchy of needs is community, and that's so tricky because we're also in like one of the most stratified and like atomized moments in community building. You're not incentivized to do it. You're not encouraged to do it. You're encouraged to kind of like minimize it and have it in quantity across a large amount of space instead of intimately with people that you know well. And that is something I'm officially too old to know how to make friends now.
Yeah.
Or rather, to know how to make friends as a 20-year-old.
Also,
I just have the foundations now, but I promise
I don't even know if I
nothing.
do. I'm still trying to figure it out. So
I mean, we just have friends.
Yeah.
Also,
already
when
is
I
what
I'm
was
still trying to make new
younger-
ones, and who knows how that works.
Oh, new ones. But that's what I mean. It's like making new ones in 2026. I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
But it's like the privilege thing. I
I'll
now
make
have
a
the
new
privilege
friend.
of already having them.
I'll make
I
a
bought
new
start
friend
at home kind
this
of thing,
afternoon.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well, not all of
But-
us have that.
But I
Some of
want
us
to
are really
say,
ugly.
but I want to say that when I was younger, I think I was actually not very good at making new friends because I was really scared of putting myself out there and being vulnerable with people.
And
So
what did you do? How did you? Because I have that problem.
if I'm being like not funny but honest, 12-step programs, EMDR therapy,
Hell yeah.
it's eye movement, something.
Oh, it's I see
Yeah.
what you mean.
EMDR. It's a very good kind of therapy for reprogramming your brain post-trauma, and brain drugs. That combo. And if I'm being extra cringy, improv.
Oh, that's funny.
So that combination of
Yeah.
those things has made me feel so much more comfortable in my skin and has allowed me to be okay with making a mistake. So that means like if I meet a new person and I'm too loud, too whatever, I don't automatically think that that person is going to hate me for being myself.
Yeah, protagonist syndrome is the dangerous part where it's like, I'm the biggest, me at that party was the biggest deal.
And maybe improv can lead you to a budding YouTube superstar. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic.
That was fun. That was
So
good.
Trump has a new phone coming out.
Who's this guy?
And I'm thinking, you've only just now got a phone? Aren't you president?
Yeah, he's got a lot of money. You think he'd buy one?
You'd think he'd buy a phone.
Yeah. No, keep that. I like this.
Okay.
I hate it now.
How about this Cars for Kids thing?
Oh my God.
I heard they can't run ads in California anymore.
That happened?
That happened.
So Trump Mobile
Mobile.
is actually
Or is it
an
the
old-
Trump mobile?
Like it's the same as
like the Wienermobile.
it's the I keep want to say Pope-mobile and I keep almost saying Pimp-mobile.
Oh, the Pope-mobile.
Mobile.
The actually, I would not be surprised if he created one of those. Do you know what we're talking about, Jarvis?
I don't want to.
The Pope-mobile was a big glass box that he could drive around in
David
and not be shot.
Glass
Yeah, there it is.
and not be shot. It's bulletproof.
Yeah, because he got shot once.
Oh well, yeah. How
This
about
is
the best
Pope
Wait a minute.
John Paul,
The
I
second?
believe.
Hold on. There's only one of the 4 parts has
That's
glass
what,
on
or
it?
is it really? Yeah. What?
Oh, I guess.
No, look at this top. It's a fully enclosed box.
But it looks so.
This looks like a different version.
Oh, never mind.
Look at that second photo as well. That's like he's just got like the window down. I guess electively.
You're gonna get shot.
What are you thinking, bro?
Wow. Okay, I'm learning new things every day. But yeah, that's just open.
Oh wow.
It's
in the wiki? It's on the
Pixar Wiki. Wait, do they have this in the Cars movie?
No way.
I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
That's crazy.
Is a character in Cars too?
And the Pope
His
is
job
also
is
a
to
car.
protect and transport Pope Pinion.
The top is open. I guess it's a car. You can't shoot from above. Are there guns within the cannon of the cars?
I don't know.
I imagine there's tanks, which
Oh,
are
you
kind
know
of like
what?
cars.
Oh, that's way worse. That's not
I've
gonna
never
protect them.
seen any of the Cars movies, but I did recently learn Cars 2 is kind of a James Bond
spy
secret
movie, yeah.
agent thing.
I kind of want to
know
watch
why.
the Cars movies.
Should we do it?
I'm down.
Okay.
Second one's kind of fun. I never saw the third one, which is it's like Top Gun Maverick. It's like I've got one last job. Oh boy.
So that's Eric, right? Yeah.
yeah, the handsome one.
I know that. So this is a phone plan, and they have like a new phone
Yeah, for
Because-
$500 essentially.
because CoffeeZilla got one, or he got a
Wait,
like
what happened
order
there?
for one.
Meet the Meet the T.
So,
TI,
Jacob, do you
T1,
know
T1.
when this originally, when you could first buy these? Because it's been years, right?
It was announced. No. It hasn't been years, but it was announced in June 2025, and they originally promised that they would ship in August of 2025.
Ew. And they kind of present it as if it's like a flagship phone. I think in some of the branding they talk about it as such, but it's like not going to be that.
It's one of the only phones you can buy that looks exactly like piss.
Well, that's the thing.
It's
a
designed in
gold-
China with American values in mind.
It was supposed to be made in America. It was originally sold on that idea, but they realized they couldn't do that. So now it's designed with American values in mind. What does that mean? We don't know.
By the way, is this written with AI? The T1 isn't just another smartphone.
What?
Semicolon. It's a bold step toward wireless independence.
I would not be surprised.
Wireless independence, huh?
That's like how AI would describe a phone. Like, do you like my new phone? Your new phone isn't just a smartphone. It's your wireless independence, allowing you to connect globally with people all over the world.
That's a great question, Jarvis. Let me just go ahead and use a dash and a semicolon to break down why that's a great idea.
Which month has an X in it? Well, obviously, October.
Oh, yeah. October.
Can we see an image of what it looks like?
Gaudy.
That even looks more gold than actual photos of the phone.
The American flag, like black like that, just looks like one of those like thin blue line.
Punisher logo.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
it says it has Trump Mobile written twice on it. It's like on the camera and on the bottom of the phone.
Yeah,
just in
that
case you
doesn't-
forget.
I don't. Look, they're not sending their best Photoshop artists. Also, okay, I have so many issues, but it doesn't. This.
Isn't it weird that, like, despite being a brand for his entire life, Trump still does not really have a cohesive aesthetic?
Gold is the
It's
aesthetic.
gold, but then the typeface
Do you
is
see
always
that
off.
5,000 right there?
The 5,000 mAh battery.
Yeah, you know what that stands for, Jordan?
Milliamp hours.
There you go. He's learning.
I've seen better.
He's learning.
I've seen many more milliamp hours.
More choices, more value.
Wait, go back up to the features again. That was one of the features is Android operating system. Okay.
Yeah, and it's got the Snapdragon mobile platform. Isn't that just like the processor? The is it Qualcomm? Who makes a Snapdragon?
Snapdragon. That sounds scary.
It's made by Qualcomm.
Boom, dude. He knows thing.
Where's that based?
San Diego, California.
All right. American values. More choices, more value. Trump mobile phones. I thought that was going to be a 1, 2, 3 kind of.
The American flag, I'm reading reports that it's missing 2 stripes.
It looks off, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, because it's what 13 stripes, right, for all the original colonies.
I think there's only 11 on it.
4, one by one till we've given a day
We should
to
be
every state
updating that thing,
in
right?
the USA.
Why?
Oh, yeah, 50 now.
Oh, wait a
But
second.
there's 50 stars.
Hang on. You know what I think might be happening here? Can you zoom in even further? I don't know if you can. So if you zoom in on the bottom left-hand corner, it looks like it's like a ripple of like a 3D, like right below the stars. It almost looks like there's a darkness
Yeah.
that makes it seem as though it was just a Photoshop of a flag that had like a 3D ripple in it or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like a photo bucket live flag.
Oh, because this, by the way, is just a Samsung phone that they colored gold and put the Trump decals on.
In the least satisfying location to look at, by the way.
Yeah.
Something about the placement right there at the bottom is like eerie to me.
It was automatically installed with
True Social.
True Social.
Thank goodness.
Hell yeah.
And the other thing is that it's actually more yellow than gold.
Mm-hmm.
Do people have it in hand yet? Because
I think some news outlets got it, but that's it.
I was saying when we first started talking about this, I am genuinely curious on some of the reactions because the one thing that even the cult of MAGA is obsessed with is their phone. And I think that it being disappointing, like it being frustrating, they will cry about it.
So if you go to
Wow.
so yeah, CoffeeZilla did this, and he did actually. They started giving notices recently, but NBC News has a video first look with the new Trump phone, and it does look different for what it's worth.
Is a question, is the Trump mobile supposed to be a line in the flag? Do you see what I mean?
Oh, yeah, maybe it's a line in
Is
the
that
flag.
the idea?
You see that when they put down the pre-order, it was a iPhone that was photoshopped to look gold. Like if you scroll back.
That's funny.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
wait, the
it's
camera's
the
different.
iPhone
The camera's
camera,
different.
and then it's got big T1.
The Apple logo still behind it. It's written with Sharpie.
And
See, that's the color.
Oh,
so
that's
I think
foul.
yeah, it's just yellow.
It's just yellow. It's
That's
not gold.
Also, then
dehydrated yellow.
It's a bad teammate. Did you see the bad teammate?
And this one's got printed
Peeless.
white or silver, I guess.
Oh, what's happening?
Yeah. And according to an analyst at SAN.com, it's essentially just a reskinned T-Mobile Revel phone
That can't be right. It was
made
with
in
American values.
Jiaxing, China.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
It was
yep.
literally
but with
made
American values.
But they were thinking about America
With
while they
American
made
values
it.
in mind, such as Truth Social. And then the number that's been sort of floated around is that 590,000 people pre-ordered it. But nobody except for the people from Trump Mobile has been able to verify that there actually were that many pre-orders.
Oh, interesting.
Which kind of like makes sense. You're telling me over half a million people
Yeah, that's kind of
pre-ordered
crazy.
this phone.
And it's like a little $50 million cash infusion.
I just don't.
If that's what
even
it was.
$100 deposit is so iconically scammy. Like,
I think you have to deposit less money to like buy a Tesla back in the day.
Yeah. What if they claimed 590,000 people
590,000
people paid Trump.
deposited $100 because this is a money laundering scheme?
Well, I feel like everything that Trump does feels like a money laundering scheme.
Yeah, they make
Hypothetical writing a play.
well like not as hypothetically, but hypothetically they make a lot more from the crypto scams. So there's got to be more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. The
A shout out to our captioner who's gonna caption this.
shout out Sarah, a human being.
A human being.
I guess that's
She's
what.
lovely.
Yeah, that's. I guess we never talk about it, but it's been years now. But we have a human captioner, Sarah, who makes the human captions, and so sometimes people are like, "Oh, these are actually good," and it's because it's not AI.
Because it's a human doing it. Shout out to Sarah. Thank you for your hard work.
Shout out trying to be accessible where we can.
We know it's
doing
a
our
human
best.
because Sarah has to sometimes ask if I'm saying something some regional nonsense, or
Every
if I'm
now and
just
again,
mumbling.
Sarah will send us a clip of Jordan speaking, and we're asked to decipher what is being said.
And I'll say, I have no idea. Let me ask Jordan. And then Jordan will say,
Nada.
I have no idea.
Nada. That ain't me, dude. I hear it in my jawline. I hear it in my skull. I don't hear it out loud.
So Jordan and my birthday was a long time ago. No,
Not that long.
it was ages ago,
It was a while back.
like 30 years ago.
New one's coming up, I reckon.
But we got each other gifts to exchange on our birthday, and then I think just 'cause how the cookie crumbled, we didn't end up having a good time to do it.
And then we got to the end of it and went, oh, we haven't done it.
Well, may
Let's
as well
do it
just
when
do
we
it on the
get back
podcast.
home.
And then we got sick, and so now it's
And
like
then Jordan refused to come to work.
so.
I was being investigated for being too funny.
Jordan, can you show your beautifully wrapped gift?
I just pick up Ollie.
Yeah. So we're gonna do our gift exchange now.
Ooh, so classy.
Wow, beautifully wrapped.
Look at that paper.
Now,
Gorgeous.
now, my gift to you was beautifully wrapped, but for the sake of production, I've stripped it of all.
Someone stole it.
It was covered in your address.
Whoa,
Don't worry, this is my PO box.
That
if
is
it's
a
still on there.
weird thing to put on it.
Yeah, it was covered in your address, and so I ripped it off just for you. Okay, so we should start with my beautifully unwrapped package.
It's
That sounds
minimal.
wrong. Yes, exactly.
Your no protection, unwrapped package.
Okay, there's protection.
Oh, okay. It's a Brookstone handheld something.
You got it.
Wind speed 200 kilometers per hour. What was this?
You know how people repack
So
stuff?
fast. It used to be a hurricane.
Could it be a droid?
This might be the droid you're looking for.
Wait, but there's no air holes. He'll put it suffocated.
Here, I'll put this over here.
Tap your nails on it.
Let me just tell you, well, before you go further, this is not something that is on sale in 2026.
It's not legal to sell it.
It's
Cuban
illegal.
cigar.
Kind of.
That's why we're in international waters right now.
Oh, dude, this is... I made eye contact with it, and that's what caught me. This is the first image.
already knew what this is, and I'm laughing.
Misa having a happy birthday.
Yeah.
What's he? He looks
This is a like.
He's kind of cheeky.
I think now 26-year-old vintage, but still sealed. This is sealed. So you can choose to open it and wear it, or you can choose to keep it as a collector's item.
Now, how would I? This is amazing.
So it's a Jar Jar Binks. He doesn't describe.
It's probably obvious what it is based on the audio.
Based on the back of the packaging.
You can probably hear it. It is, as people are expecting, it is a Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace collector watch keychain. I believe this is Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, from what I can tell. Oh shit! This is exactly the same lightsaber toy I had when I was like 7.
Wow.
And I knew that.
Oh wow! And you literally can tear his face open to check the time.
Yeah. So it's a collectible like Jar Jar watch, and you can wear it as a watch, and you can open Jar Jar's face in order to tell the time.
How visible that is. The fact that he is, I guess, to work as something that's closed. He's doing a coy, adorable, like, you mad at me?
And then
he kind of does that.
You want to know
How wooed?
That was Stitch, I think.
He says how wooed. Quite.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I'm currently watching all the Clone Wars cartoons?
Yes.
The 3D animated one?
Well, I watched the Gendy ones first.
The Clone Wars.
The
now you're
Gendy
watching Clone Wars.
Tarkovsky.
I never try to say his name. I just call him Gendy.
He's the guy who made
like
Dexter's Lab as well.
Yeah.
And Samurai Jack.
And
Gotta be back.
it's really funny having Jar Jar. Like the Jar Jar episodes are the worst ones.
I don't know.
So I know you get, Jordan, I know you get lonely. So now you can have your Jar Jar with you at all times.
Oh.
Thank you, Jar Jar.
Misa crying.
Misa, have a nice birthday. The logistics of this are so funny because it's essentially 2 almost unrelated toys because it is the watch.
Yes.
And then in addition, there is a lightsaber case to put the watch in that you then hang on with your keys.
Yeah, let me tell you, I was quite confused when I was looking at the packaging, trying to understand where the lightsaber really came into all of this.
It was right. It
was Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume you did it with your mind and didn't just read that it said Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah,
lightsaber.
I don't have the reading comprehension to see it that fast. This is fucking sick. I love it. I know that it's obviously because it's merch, but writing his name is
Jar Jar.
Well,
Jar Jar Binks.
You're very good at opening your mind and using the Force.
Well, it flows through all of us. It penetrates us. It's the light in the dark.
You know what's funny?
Whatever.
This is packed in a way that I feel like things aren't packed anymore, where I'm like, you need scissors and you need to like enter into a semi-dangerous conflict with the packaging.
This is like a construction based.
It was never super clear how you were supposed to open those
Never.
packages.
And it more than once injured myself on
Frankly,
the hard,
because it's
sharp
even
plastic.
hard to cut with scissors.
Yes.
And then you end up cutting yourself with the scissors.
Well, also the plastic becomes a shard
that's how I
that
cut
can rip your skin open.
This honestly is a great way to package something that you want to survive for 26 years.
And look at it now.
Simple. You can't even accidentally. You know what's unnecessarily hard to open as packages is packages of scissors. They are so heavily protected. You can. I don't.
It's like a little quest that you have to solve
to level up your. This is amazing. I didn't get mine's not as old.
No, it's okay.
Mine's not as old as yours.
I got really stoked. All right, here I go.
Here he goes.
Oh hell yeah!
It's
Wait, this is
another leading figure in our life.
Is Gohan mid Masenko?
So I very specifically I explored Little Tokyo and I'm like, I want something, but I don't want something from Super, but I also don't want something really early Z. And I wandered around and I couldn't find quite the thing I wanted. And I think maybe somebody working in one of the stores saw me looking morose because they had a wholesale area.
I know exactly what you need.
They didn't have any of the ones that I wanted. And so I asked, do you have Gohan? Because they just didn't, they didn't have kid Gohan, but I wanted slightly older Gohan. There he is. Dude, the collection. The squad. Wow. Oh, I didn't even realize I got the same brand as last time.
Yeah, it's the same brand and it's the same era. It's like Gohan fires this Masenko and very shortly thereafter, Krillin is killed by Frieza. As you can see.
He has his wound.
Yeah, he's still got his wound. So this is, interestingly, is this, he's still in his Namek gear, but he's been brought back by the Dragon Balls. It doesn't make any
Does
sense.
does he keep that on when he gets here? Yeah,
it's completely gone. So this is interesting.
You can repose it to be dead. if
yeah,
that's
you
your
can
interest.
if you need Goku to go Super Saiyan, you can like throw him in the air with a giant wound in his belly.
Happy birthday,
So yeah,
everybody.
this is like a 1-2 punch.
This is like they kind of all match.
Yeah.
The 90s.
The 90s happened.
Well, I guess
only 90s kids.
Jacob, you were born in 99?
98.
Wow, barely made the cut.
You were born in 91.
Oh, honey.
I came over on the
I came over on the 199 Express.
Sweetie, keep going back. And I was born in 1981.
I'm so excited to meet you there on Friday.
Is it just going to be me and you and my dad? Are you going to go?
I'll be there.
Why?
Jacob, do you want to come to breakfast with my dad? Okay, I'll add you to this.
I don't have a lot of like collectory stuff in package, but I don't think I have the heart to open it.
That's something I do because I know how I am and I like to impose that conundrum upon others.
I really wouldn't want to get rid of the package itself because this rocks.
The other thing about this is that
which is awesome.
The thing I like about stuff like this is that it can be like a fun little display too, because it has a novelty because like it feels dated, even the packaging itself.
Yeah, the packaging feels like
expensive
fun to display as well.
Yeah, there's so much text for a child's toy here. Just run it through. Lightsaber doubles as display case. I mean, it singles as display case. You know, it's not
what
a real
else are you going to
sword.
use it for?
Lightsaber.
To display your watch, remove lid by twisting it clockwise and pulling up. Use the hook on underside of lid to secure buckle and lower watch into lightsaber so that it appears in the window. Secure lid by placing it back onto the saber and turning counterclockwise.
The thing is, me as a 7-year-old, incredible reading comprehension. I know exactly what they mean. And if I don't, I'll ask a parent for help, definitely, and I won't.
I won't just dedicate myself.
Also, good Lord, imagine a child trying to open it. Please, an adult.
Maybe that's why. This has a body count. Like there's fatalities on this thing.
They tried. They failed.
Misa, wear my watch. Right?
Can you look up the I do want to be able to show this watch opening.
It's so weird that it's like fleshy.
Yeah.
What the? It says his name on the inside. I didn't even notice that part.
Also,
I'll remind you.
Oh yeah, it is his goo. It's his Jar Jar brain and guts.
Ugh,
Can we check the other
gross.
ones? Who else? Oh well, we've got. I believe we had Darth Maul.
Oh my God, can you
Anakin
imagine
is
having that
really
Darth
I want to
funny.
say, and I'm not even joking, I think I might have had a Darth Maul one of these as a kid.
Did that look familiar?
Oh,
that's cool.
Because I remember that doesn't even look right.
He's doing the face again. They're like,
he looks incredible.
Can we look up the Anakin one because the image I'm seeing here is incredible.
Is it little kid Annie?
It looks like Peeps. There he is.
Like plastic breaks down over time or
first
something.
second one.
There's
Look
also
at his
like a
little
line
face.
of Burger King toys around this era.
Oh my God, if
Look at his little lips. Why is
If
He looks like
Peeps-
his lips make him look like Leia. Or like yeah.
Yeah, he does. He looks
okay,
like
is it crazy? Have we talked about maybe Halloween costume, Peeps being Anakin and you being Jar Jar?
Yeah, I can't wait for them to see the movie. I guarantee they have not seen Phantom Menace.
Well, why would they have seen any of these?
Do you
They're
remember
worn
when
yesterday.
you were Brian Griffin from Family Guy? And
Yeah,
people were
racistly.
like, yeah, you, a black man dressed up as a dog. I do worry
Of course,
that
they made him dress up as a dog. I
a
believe was
similar.
the
Of course,
sentiment.
they made. That's what they said. Of course, they made him. I do fear that you would get a similar thing if you chose to be Jar Jar, even of your own volition,
What if we get
despite Jar Jar being voiced by a black man.
Yeah.
We should get Eddie to dress up as Darth Maul,
Oh, that would be fun.
minus the red.
Plus the
get his
glasses.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Darth Maul, they found a perfect ratio between red and black to where it feels okay. Like,
Yeah.
what was his name? Ray Sharp, the guy that physically
Yeah,
performs.
Ray. I want to say
Armando.
Ray Chase.
Did somebody say
Ray Park. Ray
did somebody
Park.
say Ray Romano?
You were kind of doing a Ray Romano doing Yoda.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
Wait, that's not Yoda.
I was like, who speaks in
Misremembering that.
reverse? It's
It's JFK.
what kind of stuff does what kind of stuff does Yoda say? Hey, whoa, I'm Yoda over here, and I'm really small and
He
green.
said something like, "Try not."
Do or do not. There is no try.
There you go.
But I'm trying to eat some amazing Italian food,
He's
like some
hungry.
graffiti.
Deborah. Can you say Deborah?
Deborah!
Both lasers coming out. Deborah.
Oh my God.
I always liked Deborah. I always thought she was kind of in the right, to be honest.
Well, are you kidding? There's so many episodes of him being like, "What are you on your period?"
What are you on your No, I don't feel comfortable.
That's very respectful, Ray. Wow, Ray's had some personal growth. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think. Well, everybody loved Raymond, and then time kind of caught up to me, and now everybody's a bit skeptical of Raymond.
Happy birthday to us. And if you want to continue to support our birthday or get us a birthday gift, just buy a ticket to the birthday show. Woo! That's all I want for my birthday. And I promise, I swear, I won't do this again unless people like it.
I'll do it again. Buy a ticket. I have to say, I'm so excited. There's so much fun stuff that we have planned.
Get on in here. There's going to be lots of fun times.
He's going to be on the show. Yeah, he's going to watch his language a little bit, though.
I'm going to be so woke.
Oh my God.
People will be like, whoa.
People are going to be like, who is Ray Romano? We don't know who that guy is.
Literally who?
Yeah, what is this?
This is a show from, it's even old for me.
I didn't see this till long after it was over.
I did recently talk to a Gen Zer who said that they watched the show when they were young, and I was like,
What?
why?
Where?
I don't even know what platform it's on now. I mostly only got this impression from watching Pete Holmes' podcasts and him doing the impression of him.
We're coming into the station on this episode of Sad Boys, but two things. One, live show the 28th. Grab your tickets, come see us, make fools of ourselves, and have a grand old time with friends, guests, music, sketches.
Live stream online interaction. It'll be a grand old time. Please buy tickets. My family is starving. That's unrelated, but you can also buy tickets.
That's unrelated. I don't have a immediate family here but you could be out there. No, and then the second thing is we are going to head over to our patreon.com/sadboys, where you can check out Sad Boys Nights, our Patreon exclusive podcast, for the low price of $5 a month.
If you so fancy. It's a grand old time where we're going to be talking about
the debunking of Oz the Mentalist, which I love to see a mentalist go down.
Going mental on him.
And I might have some Anastasia grapes.
Anastasia's got grapes, and I've got grapes.
I don't have anything.
So check it out or don't, because at the end of the day, this is a YouTube channel. And it's not that deep.
Yeah, it's all chill.
Hey, but we're having a grand old time over here. We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase.
We love you.
And we're sorry. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it. Girl, too rich for me.